What if the U.S. government detained someone who had every right to be there? A confidential report recently leaked to The Guardian reveals a shocking twist in last week's massive immigration raid at a Hyundai factory in Georgia. At least one worker arrested during the operation was living and working legally in the U.S., yet was still targeted for deportation. This raises urgent questions about the legality of the raid and whether the agency behind it is misusing its power to inflate arrest numbers. But here's where it gets controversial. The U.S. government claims all 475 arrested individuals were violating immigration laws. But the leaked document paints a very different picture. The internal ICE file, written by an agent, details the case of a South Korean national who entered the U.S. in June on a valid B-1, B-2 visa, a visa category that permits short-term business or tourism activities. Despite not violating his visa terms, he was arrested at the Hyundai battery plant as a contractor for a Korean company and forced to accept a voluntary departure, a process that can bar him from returning to the U.S. in the future. "This is outrageous," says Charles Cook, a Georgia-based immigration attorney representing some of the detainees. He calls the arrest a clear violation of the law and even a crime of unlawful imprisonment. And this is the part most people miss. The government's own documentation contradicts its public claims. ICE insists the detainee admitted to unauthorized work, but the leaked file says no such violation occurred. When pressed, DHS doubled down on its initial statement, ignoring the internal evidence. The raid, which halted construction on a $12.6 billion battery plant, has sparked international backlash. South Korea, which recently finalized a major trade deal with the U.S., now faces a diplomatic dilemma as it negotiates the return of arrested workers. Meanwhile, legal advocates warn that the operation has left vulnerable workers in a legal limbo. These men were simply doing their jobs on a high-profile international project, says Samantha Hamilton of Asian Americans Advancing Justice, Atlanta. They didn't ask for this. So, where does this leave us? There's no legal mechanism to remove them, the official admitted. The fallout is far from over. As hundreds of detainees await deportation flights, critics argue the raid was as much about political posturing as immigration enforcement. What do you think? Is this a case of overreach or a necessary crackdown on workplace violations? Share your perspective in the comments. The truth and the law might not be as clear-cut as the government claims.